Hello everybody, welcome to Weather on the Go. This is your afternoon update. Do remember to follow me on Twitter at hweather420 as I'll be posting updates on the severe weather and the tropics here as we head through the next few weeks and through the summer and fall here as well. So do give me a follow there at hweather420. Also give me a nice like with this video. Also leave any comments below and do subscribe to my channel here as I continue to grow my channel more. I will here be posting regular daily updates here for weather forecasts moving forward. As we head into this afternoon and through the rest of this afternoon into tonight here, the Storm Prediction Center's Day 1 categorical outlook has a level 3, an enhanced risk for severe weather from portions of southwestern Nebraska getting down through west central Kansas into central and northern portions there of Oklahoma. Also a slight risk extending over into eastern Nebraska, eastern Kansas, and down into southeastern Oklahoma here as we head through time as well. And then that marginal risk here kind of surrounding that into portions of Iowa, western Missouri, western Arkansas, and northwestern portions of Louisiana. Also, another marginal risk zone across portions of southeastern Washington, east central portions of Oregon State into Idaho, and those areas up there as well, where some isolated strong to severe weather will be possible. But the main event here is across the center of the country, where they have a 5% here tornado risk here today across southwestern Nebraska, down through west central Kansas, into northern Oklahoma. Already seeing some supercells break out with the potential of tornadoes here already this afternoon, and that will continue through the evening. What also is more concerning is a 30% and also a hatched kind of wind risk across these areas. That hatched kind of risk on the black here does show significant wind that could be over 75 miles per hour, potentially as high as 100 miles per hour this afternoon into tonight here as a very powerful storm system and mid-level disturbance pushes across the middle of the country. And this could result in a derecho producing MCS or mesoscale convective system that acts like a derecho here as it moves from northwest to the southeast as we head through the evening and overnight hours. Also, in addition, is another 15 to even 30% hail risk, and also a hatched hail risk for hail that could be 2-3 inches in diameter here as we head through the afternoon and evening as well. And also here's some smaller hail potential as we head up into portions of the Pacific Northwest here with that marginal risk zone here as well. So let's kind of look at this here on the composite reflectivity. We already got some supercells developing across northern Kansas into portions here of south central Nebraska as we head through the rest of this afternoon. These will continue to become more numerous and start to dive south and eastward here, bringing the potential for tornadoes here initially, and also the potential of some isolated very intense wind gusts, and also some isolated very large hail up to around 2, maybe even 3 inches in diameter as they drop to the south and east. And then they'll start as we head into the evening hours around the dinner time frame here and into the early and mid evening hours. They'll start to congeal into more of a squall line and with some bow echoes here kind of developing within that. And that is where we could have a derecho producing complex of storms that drops through Kansas and into portions of north central and northeastern Oklahoma as we head through the evening and overnight hours. And around the early morning hours here on our Monday tomorrow, this could be down near the Tulsa area, maybe Oklahoma City metro, and then on up here into portions of southeastern Kansas, southwestern Missouri, getting into far northwest Arkansas here with some powerful wind gusts along the leading edge of this as we head through time. And the reason why this is the case is because we have a lot of warmth, a lot of humidity starting to hit here advect northward into the middle of the country here in the central plains. We got temperatures in the upper 70s, the lower 80s, and even farther to the southwest, some upper 80s to lower 90s. So along the instability axis here, that's where that propagating, southeastward propagating derecho type of MCS potentially could be here evolving. We do have a lot of moisture across these areas here where you see the blues, the deeper blues. That's where dew points are in the 60s to even middle to upper 60s across these areas and portions of eastern Nebraska down through much of Kansas and Oklahoma, maybe even some lower 70 dew points here in western Oklahoma here across portions of the El Reno area, getting over toward the Oklahoma Panhandle here where you see those purples on this map. In general, this is the instability. The brighter the colors, the higher the CAPE or convective available potential energy is, and there's a lot of instability. So this kind of is indicative of a potential strong convective here system that is going to drop from portions here of southern Nebraska, northern Kansas, and drop southeastward here in through Kansas into northeastern Oklahoma as we head through the evening and overnight hours, producing that powerful type of derecho setup across this area. And right along the kind of instability axis where you see the stronger instability drop off to here, the lower end values. Right along that axis is where we could expect the MCS to develop with that derecho potentially as we head through the overnight hours. So do want to be on guard there. Have plenty of ways to get warnings here, and do stay up to, have weather radios ready, TV stations here, even people here on YouTube also keeping you ahead of all the storms. But even as we head into tomorrow, our Monday, with slight risk of severe weather, the Storm Prediction Center's put out all the way up here into portions of northeastern Wyoming, southwestern South Dakota, through much of the center of, portion there of Nebraska as well, into west central Nebraska, much of western Kansas, southeastern portions of Colorado, into the Oklahoma and far northern Texas Panhandle, and then a marginal risk extending farther to the east across the Ozarks here into portions of the lower Missouri Valley, parts of the Mid-South, and then on up into the western Ohio Valley as we head into our Monday. The tornado risk here is split into two areas, so a 2% tornado risk as we head into tomorrow across southwestern Kansas, southeastern Oklahoma, into southeastern Colorado rather, into the Oklahoma and Texas Panhandle, the far northern Texas Panhandle there, and then another 2% zone here in a broad area across the western Tennessee Valley, the western Ohio Valley, getting down into parts of the Mid-South and the Ozarks region as we head into tomorrow. Also here kind of going along with that is the wind, the hail, the general 60 to 70 mile per hour type wind, also that quarter size hail potentially as well. But feeding into tomorrow, we do have a lot of warmth moving up from the south, kind of a heat wave starting to develop across the Texas area into portions of the desert Southwest. So a lot of instability starting to, pull itself northward. And where you get that meeting here with that cooler air and the clash of temperatures, that's where you got that severe weather setup here as we head into our Monday. So as we head into Monday afternoon and the evening hours, got some storms firing up here, scattered type of showers and storms across portions of the Ohio Valley, especially the western Ohio Valley down through the Mid-South. Also some more isolated to scattered type of storm development across the front range of the Rockies, getting into portions of Nebraska, western Kansas. But then as we head into the evening hours, into the overnight hours here on Monday into Tuesday morning, we could have another MCS or mesoscale convective system kind of congealing with another squall line, maybe some bowing structures in there with some localized bow echoes where you have enhanced type of wind gusts along the leading edge. And that will start to propagate its way to the east-southeast as we head into the overnight hours into Tuesday morning across portions of southern Nebraska, through much of Kansas, into northwestern portions there of Oklahoma, and still some continued severe weather potential across the Ohio Valley with some heavier rain, some frequent lightning, some hail, and some wind across those areas, and maybe an isolated tornado here well into the evening hours as well. And then this doesn't even stop there. The Storm Prediction Center has another slight risk of severe weather on day 3, their day 3 outlook. This is for Tuesday across portions of western and southwestern Kansas, southeastern Colorado, into portions of the northern Texas Panhandle, the Oklahoma Panhandle, and a far northeastern New Mexico. And then another marginal risk zone here across much of Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and then getting down into southern Missouri and into portions of the Mid-South here into northern Arkansas and far western Tennessee. This does include the Memphis area, getting back toward Tulsa, Little Rock, Fort Smith, and getting back toward the Topeka, Wichita areas here as well. Just generally here in the next 3 days or so, going all the way through the middle of this coming week, we could expect several more inches of rain across especially the central plains here, just north of the Red River here into portions of northeastern Oklahoma, southeastern Kansas, into portions of southern Missouri, into northern Arkansas, and then extending over into the Tennessee Valley here into middle Tennessee, into portions of Kentucky. Can expect upwards of 2 to even 3 inches of rain additionally here as we head through the next few days. So that is something to note as well. And some more rainfall across portions of the Great Lakes region here as well. More stratiform rain with some embedded thunderstorms, kind of the garden variety type thunderstorm activity up there as we head through the next few days. A little bit quieter across the Pacific Northwest, but still some precipitation expected here the next few days up into portions of Seattle, Portland, and then getting over toward the Boise, Idaho type areas here as well, with an active storm track continuing to kind of shift to the north. And that kind of leads me to here seeing some severe flash flooding across these areas. The Weather Prediction Center here, has put out a moderate risk for flash flooding across eastern and especially southeastern Kansas and far northeastern Oklahoma here as we head through the day today, and then a slight risk here kind of expanding a little bit farther out here into portions of central Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma, into western portions there of Missouri, up near the Kansas City area, getting back toward Wichita here as well, and then here a marginal risk for flash flooding, even up into the Pacific Northwest and into the Midwest here, where we have that kind of general garden variety type storm setup as well. And that continues even into our Monday here. We have a marginal risk for flash flooding with the MCS dropping down here in the Central Plains as we head through Monday evening across portions of South Dakota, through much of Nebraska and portions of Kansas, eastern Colorado here around the Front Range, and then another zone here up into portions of lower Michigan, much of Indiana, and northwestern and western Ohio as well. And that even continues across portions of the Central Plains into the Mid-South and the lower Missouri Valley, with a slight risk of flash flooding from the Weather Prediction Center on their Day 3 excessive rainfall outlook as we head into Tuesday here, as another kind of MCS or mesoscale convective system tries to develop and push us to the east here as well across these areas, and then that marginal risk for flash flooding across southern portions of the Florida Peninsula with the ongoing tropical rain type of system here, and kind of some tropical moisture getting fetched up into Florida as we head into Tuesday. But as we get beyond here Tuesday, as we get beyond into late next week, as we head towards the middle portion or the second week here in June, we do have some changes here coming, and the changes will be another major heat wave is going to start to develop across the desert Southwest and really start to amplify and deepen as it pushes more to the north and builds eastward here as we head towards next weekend. I'll show you that here. This is the Europeans high resolution model forecast here for high temperatures as we head into next Thursday night into Friday. We could have a lot of 100-degree heat across the desert Southwest over into Texas, and this will start to slowly build its way and amplify its way to the north and east as we head through next weekend and especially into the following week. But even as we get into Thursday here, we do have a lot of moisture return ahead of that. We do have some dew points in the 60s, some lower to mid 70 dew points down near the Red River, getting down into Arkansas, into portions here of the deep south. And that will feed another severe weather threat here as we head into Thursday evening as well. Another mesoscale convective system will develop in these same areas across the Central Plains, dropping down from portions here of southern South Dakota through Nebraska into northern and northeastern Kansas. That is where the Storm Prediction Center's Day 5 severe weather outlook shows a 15% or slight risk for severe weather across these areas as we head into Thursday. And this may be expanding and upgrading here to enhanced or even moderate risk as we head into the next few days, as the signal is there for yet another MCS, maybe even another derecho potential as we head into Thursday of this coming week. And I'll show you that here, another kind of complex of storms developing into portions of northern and northeastern Nebraska as we head into Thursday afternoon. This will continue to drop quickly to the southeast and propagate southeast into portions of east central Kansas, western Missouri, maybe southwestern Iowa as we head into the overnight hours here on Thursday and into Friday morning. This will get down near the Fort Smith area, Conway, Little Rock area, into the lower Missouri Valley, maybe far eastern and northeastern portions there of Oklahoma near the Tulsa area as we head into Friday morning, with continued potential for some severe weather and some heavy rain across those areas here as well. As we get beyond that, as we get toward the middle of June, the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook the Climate Prediction Center has put out, valid from June 11th through June 15th, well above average temperatures are expected across portions here of the Four Corners region, getting into Texas here, and then kind of nudging its way northward across the Rockies, where we have below normal temperatures kind of slightly favored across the Ohio Valley, and then again up into the Pacific Northwest here during this period. And then this will continue to expand here. The 8 to 14 day temperature outlook the Climate Prediction Center put out here today, showing well above average temperatures, kind of expanding eastward and northward here into the central and southern plains, especially here centered on Texas and Oklahoma, and then kind of nudging its way over toward the southeast as well. And then another trough will be incoming across portions here of the Pacific Northwest, where they can have favored, below normal temperatures across those areas, and then near normal across the Great Lakes into the Northeast. And this is from June 13th through the 19th. So through the Father's Day weekend, a very big and kind of major heat wave is expected across much of the center of the country as we head through that time frame. Also kind of looking at the precipitation side of things, the 6 to 10 day temperature, the precipitation outlook the Climate Prediction Center's put out. Underneath that ridge, you're not going to have a lot of rising air. You're going to have a lot of sinking air. So you're going to have below normal precipitation across much of the central, the southern plains, back into the Four Corners region. And then an active jet stream, as the jet stream pulls its way farther to the north into southern Canada and the northern U.S., you'll have that active northern stream jet where we have the potential for some above normal precipitation around the Pacific Northwest from Washington down through Oregon into the portions there of Idaho and western Montana, also up into the upper Great Lakes and getting into the northeast here. Do have to watch the potential for severe weather as we head into the middle of June across these areas as they kind of revolve around that high pressure system. We like to call it a ring of fire pattern, if you will, as storms kind of develop across the west and they kind of move to the north and east and they kind of drop southeastward around that high pressure system. And that is what we also call ridge riders, where we have MCS type of, mesoscale convective systems that originate across the northern plains and then propagate south and eastward here across the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, into the mid-Atlantic, and even sometimes the Northeast. So we'll definitely have to watch that. Maybe some more derecho potential from the northern plains into the Midwest and then into the mid-Atlantic here as we head through time. But then as that ridge expands, so will the below normal precipitation here, where we have a lot of sinking air across the most of the central and southern part of the United States. Not going to have a lot of precipitation. That jet stream will be pushing farther to the north toward the Father's Day weekend, and that is where we could expect maybe more derecho potential, maybe some more active complexes of storms as we head into the upper Great Lakes, back across the far northern plains into the Pacific Northwest. And then the monsoon season might start to come alive across portions here of Arizona into New Mexico and portions here of Colorado and Utah as we head in toward the Father's Day weekend as well. We'll see how that works here as we get towards the 13th through the 19th time frame here of June. And regarding the drought, this is here continuing. This is the drought monitor that came out this past Thursday on June 2nd. Still severe, extreme, and exceptional drought in widespread fashion across the western United States here, from the Rockies mainly to westward, even some central and southern plains areas that are in that extreme and exceptional drought as well, from Texas back into much of New Mexico and portions of Nevada, Utah, California. And the reason why the heat wave is potentially going to be so significant is due to the fact that there's an ongoing major drought across these areas, and drier ground likes to heat up a lot faster here than wetter ground. So where you have wetter ground across portions of the Midwest into portions of the Northeast, slightly cooler temperatures, but then you have a lot more moisture in the ground, so those dew point temperatures will like to rise. So you'll still have those high heat index values across those areas, whereas the west into the southwest into Texas, the heat index values will not be as high, but the temperature, the ambient temperature, will be a lot higher due to that drier ground and the faster heat up days here across these areas. So let's kind of show you the GFS's rendition here. The GFS is going completely bonkers on the heat wave as we head in towards the middle of the month of June. Having a large ridge starting to expand eastward here as we head through the western and southern portions of the United States towards next weekend, and this will continue to start to expand. We have a trough continuing across the eastern half of the country that will start to move off to the east, and then that ridge as we head into early next week on the June 13th time frame will continue to amplify as we head through that time frame. And really the jet stream will here push all the way up to the north into southern Canada, so even portions of southern Canada, Ontario, Quebec, back into portions of Manitoba, southern Saskatchewan, portions of these areas could have some, a lot warmer than normal temperatures across these areas, maybe some record heat across portions of the Four Corners into Texas as well. And then look at these bright colors. We could have areas of 20 to as much as 30 plus degrees above the norm as we head towards the very middle of the month, around Wednesday the 15th time period, heading into Thursday the 16th. So some much above average temperatures expected. And like I said, that jet stream toward the middle of the month will push all the way to the north with the stronger shear values up to the north. You have a lot of instability here kind of pushing to the north as well across portions of the northern plains into the Great Lakes here and the portions of the Midwest and the Mid-Atlantic and Ohio Valley. We always got to watch for the potential of derechos and, MCS type of complexes of storms that originate here across portions of southern Canada or the northern plains and then propagate to the east and southeast across these areas here when you have that strong high pressure system kind of centered across the middle of the country. And this is one example. You have instability, surface-based CAPE, or convective available potential energy, also called instability, across the middle of your country, across portions here in the Midwest, the Mississippi Valley, getting into the Ohio Valley here as we head toward the middle of the month. And the GFS has already gone bonkers, already having, in excess of 5,000 joule per kilogram instability here on across these areas as we head into that time frame as well. And just to put it in perspective, instability needed for severe weather is around 500 to around 1,000 joules per kilogram. So this is almost 5 to 6 times the limit of what you need for severe weather So we'll definitely have to be watching that as we go through time. So I hope you guys here, it was a very informative video for you guys. I'll have another update here as we head into tomorrow afternoon regarding more severe weather, the tropics starting to heat up here as well, and more kind of climatology with the tropics and more of that stuff here as well. So do be sure to drop a like in my video here, give me a nice thumbs up. Also leave any comments, questions below. I'll be able to answer those. And do remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, as I'll have daily weather forecast updates for you guys heading through the next few weeks and through the summer months. So thank you for watching, and have a great week, everyone.